Yeah, ma'am, you can start the session.
Okay, sure. Hi, good evening, everyone. Just waiting for all of you to put on your videos. So, how was your weekend? Sundays? How was it?
Good.
Good, average, okay. Feeling sad that it's about to end. How are you feeling? I'm feeling a bit sad that it's about to end. So, but I'm excited about today's session.
It was
What
a
are
good.
your... Yeah, sir?
Yeah, it was a good day, madam. Very good day.
It was a good day. That's great.
Sunday is a good day for playing with children.
Ah, that's true. That's true. You get to spend a lot of time together.
Yeah, we became a child on that day.
That's great. So how about others? Muskan, Sumlata ji, आप लोग हैं यहाँ पे? Okay. So I think they are on mute or they will respond later on. So should we start? All right. I'm just sharing my screen to show you what all we'll be covering today. Right. So this is all that we'll be covering today. Skills of a counselor, the life skills counseling model, wherein which includes the stages of counseling, what goes through a client's mind walking into a counseling session, and how to initiate a session. All right. So do you have any kind of doubts or anything, whatever we discussed yesterday? Is it clear? Can we move forward? Okay. Okay, that's great. Good to see that you remember the thumbs up rule. Okay, so we'll start with skills of a counselor. What all skills, like we discussed yesterday, what all is required by a counselor. So we'll go into micro and macro skills. So micro skills are the basic skills that any competent counselor employs while working with a client. They include, but are not limited to, just attending, active listening, questioning, empathy. So here, we'll go one by one in detail. Attending skills. The solar position. First one is sit or stand squarely. Second one, open posture. Third, lean forward. Fourth is the eye contact is maintained. Fifth, relaxed body posture. Can any one of you just give me a rough explanation of what this kind of demonstration or an explanation, what this means? Any inputs? What does solar position mean? Or what does attending skills mean? No idea? You can say that you don't have any idea. That's all right.
No, ma'am.
No
Yeah, we
idea?
don't have idea.
All right. All right, no worries. So attending skills is basically what it basically means is the solar position means is how attentive are you, how much are you attending. So what I think some of you have just joined as well. So what we're going to I'll just go through the content part again and then I can explain it to you so that they are also on the same track. I'll just screen share the content part again so that they are also aware. So today we are covering skills of a counselor, life skills counseling model, what goes through a client's mind, walking into a counseling session, initiating a session. How do we initiate the session? So all these will be covering today. So we were just discussing about the skills of a counselor. First is the micro skills. So there will be two kinds of skills that we'll be discussing, micro and macro skills. So micro skills are the basic skills that employ any competent any competent counselor employs while working with the client. They use it while they are working with the client. They include but are not limited to attending, active listening, questioning, empathy. So the first one we are discussing about is attending skill. So this can be, categorized under the solar position. Sit or stand squarely. Like you have to sit if whenever a client enters, if you are sitting like this or like this, will it be a good thing? What impression will your client have if you are sitting like this or you're sitting like this? Will it give a good impression, or will the client be interested in talking to you, or will he feel that, oh, is he competent enough or not? How is he? What is his body language like? So you always have to sit or stand squarely, like in a presentable position. You should have an open posture. If you are maybe you are in like this, you are in like this, then maybe you are giving these kinds of signals to the client that no, I'm not interested. Why are you just here? I'm just not interested. If you lean forward, so you should be, in a open posture. Lean forward means that if you're not lying down like this, so you should be in a correct posture. Your eye contact should be maintained with the client. This is what it means. So you should have good attending skills. You should not have a very relaxed body posture. However, it should be comfortable so that the client and you both can have a comfortable interaction. It should be, you all know what a comfortable posture is. So this is just a part of, the skills that we are doing. So these are the things that are required, and you cannot just take it leniently. Otherwise, what will happen if the client will not come again? I'm telling you, they will just not come again if you are in that kind of a position, which is not presentable to anyone, right? So another skill that is important is active listening. So active listening involves not only receiving sounds, it's not just about sounds, but it is as much as possible accurate understanding of their meaning. Listening includes hearing and memorizing words, being sensitive to vocal cues, observing body language, what kind of body language is it, and taking into account the personal and social context of communication. Like there are a lot of cues which you observe even while listening to a person, there is this body language, his tone, his up and down tone, that is also very important. If the person just starts shouting, will you find him to be a good counselor? If he is talking in a raised voice, will it be good? So these are the things that we have to consider. So, active listening entails not only accurately understanding speakers' communication, but also showing that understanding. We discussed this yesterday also, like just by body language, by some nods, or by your actions. We'll discuss more about this, but actively listening, you are listening and you're understanding the other person's point of view. Active listening helps in establishing rapport, building trust, facilitates free expression of the client. If the client feels that yes, you are listening to him, or her, they will also have that trust in you. It will be very quick rapport formation. You will not have to take much time and waste half of your session or more than half of your session in just rapport formation every time he or she is coming in. If that rapport trust will be built, then it will be very easy for you. All this is the initial impression that the client gets of you. What is the impression that you are building upon the client? So, active listening. You can even note these points down if you want. So acknowledge cultural and contextual differences. Of course, if the client can be from any culture or any uh, background, it can be any different. So we should always respect that and listen. Understand the client's perspective. What the client wants from you. What is he looking for? Ask open-ended questions. That means to just involve the client in it as well. It should not be close ended that you ask the question and you only answer, or he's like, I don't know. So you should ask open ended questions which can encourage uh, an interaction between the clients and the therapist. Encourage paraphrasing and summarizing. Then reflection of feelings, that's also very important aspect. Then we come to, are you all done? I can see some of you are still noting down. Should I wait? If you want me to wait, then I can. Please do let me know.
You can proceed.
Okay, sure. Next one, encouraging. Encouragers are also known as intentional listening. Involve fully attending to the client, thus allowing them to explore their feelings and thoughts more completely. They are verbal and nonverbal ways of promoting clients to continue talking. So now let's discuss the types of encouragers that can be used. So they can be non-verbal, wherein the very minimal responses are there. They can be verbal, or they can be brief invitations. So, like for example, a non-verbal minimum response could be nod or a positive, face expression, or just a smile. Just a mild smile can also do. That means that you're connecting. Like I mentioned, eye contact also plays a very important role. Just like for example, if you are talking to your client and you're constantly looking down, or you have your phone in your hand and you're constantly having this expression, yeah, tell me. So will that give a good impression to the client? Will he ever come to you? Until unless you know he really gets impressed in the other part of the counseling session, he might not come to you. Because what are people coming to you for? They want to talk to you, they want to share, they want to express. 90% of the times clients come to you because they do not have anyone to share something with, or they are struggling. They've actually handled all kinds of situation, and you are their last resort. That okay, I think she or he will be the one who can actually handle the kind of conflict. I would request Resham, Miss Resham, are you talking about something?
सॉरी मैम, मैंने म्यूट नहीं किया था, बेटी से बात कर रही थी।
अच्छा प्लीज म्यूट कर दीजिए ताकि सबको डिस्टरबेंस नहीं हो। अगर किसी को कुछ भी बोलना है बीच में भी तो वो हैंड रेज कर सकता है, देन उसके बाद अनम्यूट करके आप बोल सकते हो, ठीक है?
सॉरी।
ओके, सो वर्बल मिनिमम रिस्पॉन्सेज. ओहो, I hear what you are saying. Yeah, I can understand. I know what you're saying. I think we are on the right path. These are the minimum verbal responses. We'll do more in details while we are doing the practical aspect as well, while we do role plays and all of this. But these are just the examples that I'm giving you. So brief invitations. Tell me more about what happened. Like for example, if a client is telling you about any incident that this happened, and especially I'll take an example of pandemic. A lot of clients had a lot of anxiety issues while moving out, so they actually needed, so they came for counseling. Okay, so the first step of moving out of the house was also a very big task for them, you know. So they shared that yes, I put my first step down, and then I put my second step down, and then I just could not, I just came back to my room and I just sat down on my chair. So this is the kind of incident that they told me. Okay, so can you tell me more about what happened? How did you feel about that at that very moment? Did you feel some tremors? Did you feel that, okay, I am not able to do it? Why did you give up so easily at that point of time? That is one, these are the brief invitations that you can just connect and, ask more about the, like the incident that has happened, right? So you can use these. So these are the encouragers that can help the client be more encouraged to share in detail. That will give you more information, as well as you will be able to, know what exactly the concern is of the client. So list of the encouragers, you can maybe note these down if you want. Sure. Please continue. Indeed. Tell me more. Yes, I hear you. And go on. So, I see. Really? Oh, right. Then, so could you also notice my tone of voice while speaking these words? Did you? Or voice modulation? In some of the, I tried to do it in some, like the way we do in the session. So you can, definitely use these kinds of, so this gives a very good impact to the client that you're actually involved and you're actually listening. That is very, very important. बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी होता है क्लाइंट को समझाने के लिए कि आप भी उसके साथ हो, है ना? तो वो भी बहुत ज़रूरी है. तो ये जो कुछ वर्ड्स हैं ये आप नोट कर सकते हो, है ना? तो मैं हिंदी और इंग्लिश दोनों में बोलूंगी. मैंने ये बात कल क्लास के एंड में भी बोली थी, ठीक है? सो अगर कुछ नहीं समझ आए तो प्लीज मुझसे पूछ लीजिएगा, ठीक है? सो आप ये नोट कर सकते हो, ये वाले वर्ड्स आप इसको हिंदी में भी कन्वर्ट करके आप उनको यूज कर सकते हो, ठीक है? बॉडी लैंग्वेज प्लेज अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल. लेट मी टेल यू दिस. ओके, कमिंग टू asking open-ended questions. Okay, so open-ended questions are questions that cannot be answered with a simple yes, no, or maybe, and instead require the client to elaborate on their points. Open-ended questions include tell me about it, please elaborate, and slightly less open-ended, how do you feel about that? So it's just beyond than yes, no, maybe. Yes, no, maybe एक standard answers है, ठीक है? वो close ended questions हो जाते हैं. So उसमें हम ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा open ended questions उनसे पूछें कि क्या आप मुझे उस बारे में और बता सकते हो, उस टाइम पे क्या हुआ था? जैसे मैंने अभी, like just the way I took the example of anxiety, the kind of anxiety that the client was facing at that very moment. Can you please elaborate more about it? Can you tell me about it? What exactly happened? So जब मैंने ये चीज पूछी उनसे कि आपको इस टाइम पे क्या फील हुआ था, आपका कैसा फील हुआ था, तो उन्होंने बताया कि मेरे हाथ बहुत ज्यादा कांप रहे थे और मेरे को बहुत ज्यादा घबराहट होने लगी, मुझे पैल्पिटेशन. इसका मतलब उनको फिजिकल सिम्टम्स साथ में फील हो रहे थे. तो दैट्स व्हाई शी गेव अप एंड शी जस्ट केम टू हर रूम एंड वो बैठ गई, ठीक है? सो उसलिए उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि मैं नहीं कर पाई उस टाइम पे कोप अप. हाँ जी, आप कुछ बोलना चाहते हैं? हैंड रेज दिख रहा है मुझे.
Yeah, Maheshwari
Yes.
Suresh Kumar.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
I couldn't understand Hindi, so kindly explain only in English.
Yes, sure. I'll do both. I think there are some participants who are in Hindi as well, so they had this thing. So I'll do it in both. Don't worry. If at any point of time I miss out, you can just point it and just ask me to repeat. All right?
Sure.
That would be great. Thank you so much. Let's be accommodative of each other. We're all in this profession. So,
Yeah.
okay. So, so what I was saying that I took an example of the anxiety case in the previous listing. So I was just explaining about if that woman who came to me for counseling. So she had she came to me for her anxiety concerns, especially during the pandemic time. So she could not move out of her house after she had COVID, and and with some situations at her house as well. So she had difficulties moving out. So she took 2 steps out and she came back running, and she came to her room and she just sat down. So that's what I was saying, that it's I asked her more, because she just said that I came and she just sat into the thing. I could not do. So if I had been at that position, I would have asked her that you couldn't handle. So she would have just said no. What happened? You couldn't handle. So she would have just like nodded no. But then at that point of time, can you please elaborate what happened exactly at that point of time? That's what I was saying right now. So I hope we're all on the same page. I'm waiting for a thumbs up. How about others? Okay. I think some of you are, and some of you are just asleep.
No, searching for the reactions.
All right. So I think we've all got it, and we can move to the next one now. Paraphrasing. So this is also one very important skill. So the counselor mirrors back to the client non-judgmentally an accurate understanding of what has been communicated by the client. So here, the client: I'm delighted that you could see me so quickly. Counselor: you are pleased that I could meet you so soon. So, this is just another way of paraphrasing the same thing without making any particular judgment. An accurate understanding of whatever the client, जो भी client ने कहा है, ठीक है, उसको हम उसी के तरीके से एक डिफरेंट वे से बिना उसको जज करे, ठीक है, बिना उसको जज करे हम उसको समझाएं, ठीक है, सेम बात, ताकि उसको भी समझ आए कि हम सेम ट्रैक पर हैं, ठीक है, वो. So that is something, we're on the same track, just to check. So mirroring back without any form of judgment, ठीक है. Summarizing puts together the key themes, feelings, issues, filtering out the irrelevant part which initially may have appeared overwhelmingly. The counselor attends to both verbal and non-verbal comments. So it can be verbal and non-verbal both at that point of time. So here इसमें जो भी counselor के जो feelings हैं, themes हैं, issues हैं, जो कि irrelevant part था, उसको जो कई बार overwhelming हो जाता है, उस टाइम पे नहीं कर सकते, तो आप एंड में उसको समराइज करो. यू आर जस्ट समराइजिंग दैट पार्ट. की थीम्स को, वट एवर द की थीम्स आर, feelings, issues, filtering out an irrelevant part, removing the irrelevant part which initially may have become overwhelming. So you're just summarizing, paraphrasing and summarizing. All right. So these are the common English words only, but yes, they are very important when it comes to counseling. I'm just sharing it again. This was not moving forward. Can you all see my screen again?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Reflection. It is like holding up a mirror, repeating the client's words back to them exactly as they said them. Reflection of feelings can promote the development of accurate empathy and social and emotional security. So what is reflection? Could you understand by this? Any idea? It's right there. Can you explain it a bit? Anyone wants to go first?
We will be explaining to them in a same manner, in the same feeling, how they were sharing to us.
Yes, yes. So what is the reason of doing this? So just to, reassure them that, I'm empathizing with you. Yes, I completely understand. I am also understanding. I'm also feeling your pain at that very moment. I can understand. So the client also feels comfortable sharing it with you. That is very important. So here, reflecting skills. Identify the feelings, words, phrases. Respond. You feel. You are. Pick up feelings from voice or body messages. That's very important. Being very observant at this point of time. Reflecting feelings and reasons. Use the words you feel because, these kinds of words can be used. If you want to write this down example, you can. Should we move forward?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. Do we get the PDF or some notes of this lessons, ma'am? We'll be getting.
So implication of the skills we've just... Yeah, you had a question?
So what's the difference between paraphrasing and reflecting skills?
So paraphrasing is when you non-judgmentally, so I'll just come back here. So when you are non-judgmentally, paraphrasing whatever the client has said in a different manner. Okay, it's not exactly the same manner. And reflecting is when you are in the same emotion, you are empathizing with the person, right? You're empathizing, you are reflecting in that phase. But here, so it is not necessary that you have to, talk in the same terms. You can see the example. I'm delighted that you could see me so quickly. You are pleased that I could meet you soon. So it's a different language that you are using. It's all about the use of words as well. You have to be very, very careful with the words that you are using with your client. So reflection is more on the emotional side. That you are showing the empathy. You are showing them emotional security. You are building that trust. It's all about feelings that is being there. Paraphrasing is more on like you are reassuring them at that very moment. All right. So it's that. So that's the difference. All these skills are very much interrelated to each other. That it can be very confusing, but yes, but they have a different meaning and they have a very different role to play when you are actually in a session. So you tend to use all of them together, and that's how you proceed with your counseling sessions. All right. I hope it's clear now.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So implication of the skills. So the first one is the counselor must listen so that then the client can develop his or her thinking, not judge, feel safe and respected. If the client will feel safe and respected, that's why he or she will come to you. And when you are not judgmental at all, when you pay attention to the client, like I gave you the example, if you're on phone doing your own work, scribbling, or you are making a plan for the other session and you're just like, I'm listening to you, you just do it, I'm doing the other work. So will he come to you? No, he will not come to you. You have to pay attention if the client is there in front of you. And whenever a client has come to you, and if then as soon as he's entered, you start taking out the worksheets or you start taking out the paper. Oh, where is my this, where is my that? And you are not ready, then the client will not have a good impression about you. That is he or she gave me the time. It's already, like for example, for the session, if we are not here it's already 7 o'clock and 7:10 I'm looking for my things, this, that, I don't have, just wait. So what kind of impression you will have? You will feel, no, she's also not interested. Why should we come for the class? Or why should we come for the session? So, just like that, whenever the client is coming to you, you have to you have to take care of them. They are your responsibility. You have given them the 45 minutes, 50 minutes ka session hai. So we have to be careful about that. You have to accept the client's feelings, how he or she is actually feeling. No, he or she is not being judged at all. So we have to be very careful about that. No judgmental statement has to be passed on to the client. Think about the client. Get the best help possible. If there will be times when you feel that, this case has come to me and I'm not very sure, I have not handled this kind of a case before, do not hesitate in talking to any other professional. You can definitely reach out to your friends, to your colleagues, anyone that you feel that, this case came to me, get him the best. Even if you feel that you are not competent enough to help the client, refer them to the other person. Ultimate goal is to help the client. You are in this kind of a service industry or in a service profession wherein you have to be very, very, I have seen a lot of commercialism in this field, that they just we'll help you. They book so many counseling sessions, and then the client is ultimately very, very frustrated, and he just leaves, that I'm getting no help, I'm not being helped. So why did she take up even my case if he or she was not confident about it? Whenever you feel that, no, this is something, I'm not telling you that you should not take up new challenges. You should take up new challenges, but even if you get stuck, it's okay to ask for help from someone. So just your focus should be to help the client. So this is what I mean. You can ask questions. Counselor may ask questions, as many questions as you can from the client, just to know more about him, so that he or she can also have a process of thinking that, oh, she asked me, what happened after that? So whenever next time the incident will happen, he or she will be, you will notice that he or she will start elaborating, just coming to your session and just elaborating, this happened after that. So kai bar, so it's so difficult to stop a client to talk even at times, and there are some clients who will just nod, yeah, I'm not feeling okay, I don't know the reason, I don't know what is happening, I'm just not able to figure. So they will not give you any clue. So you have to ask questions, you have to probe them with a lot of questions, so they develop their thinking. Summarizing. So hear his or her thoughts and know he or she is understood. So when you are actually summarizing whatever the client has told you, like for example, the client has told you that uh, this happened, okay, and then you are just summarizing. If I'm on the right track, you told me that this happened, maybe in a timeline form you can just say, first this happened, then this happened, then this happened. So this is what you mean, are you trying to say the same thing? So then at that point of time, when you are summarizing to the client will also reflect at that point of time, yes, did I say this? Yes, this happened. So it's a form of reassurance. You are giving the chance to the client as well, just to think about it, whatever he has said is true or not, and whatever he's saying is, this is what has happened. Did he actually feel those feelings only, or he wants to add up something? So this is the process. So coming to the next one. So coming to the macro skills. Macro skills help clients to view their difficulties in a larger perspective. So, micro skills were the ones wherein we were seeing the smaller aspects, like the ones we discussed. Macro skills are the ones that, help or view difficulties from a larger perspective. This provides depth and insight to the clients into understanding their problems as well as potential for positive change. So coming to the skills. First one is focusing, reflection of meaning, interpretation or reframing, self-disclosure, validate and empathize. So before I, proceed further, would any one of you, whatever skills that we have discussed, like these ones, I'll just go back. Any one of you just summarize maybe one skills each we can all talk about. What all did we discuss before I move further? Just one skill. Maybe one skill. So how many of us are there? Maybe we are 13 or 12 maybe. So one skill I think we all can talk about. It can be repetition also. Who wants to go first? Waiting for a raise of hand or unmuting. Okay, Miss Maheshwari. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So encourager.
Hmm.
We need to use many of encouraging words,
Hmm.
and that skill has to be developed for a counselor. Whenever they say to us, we should focus them and we should use many of the words. Sure, please, come again, or really?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Next, like that, we need to express to encourage them to get more feelings out of them.
Good.
And we
Good.
should emotionally connect with them. So we are using all these words.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Next. Who wants to go next? I want everyone to participate. Yes. Yes, I can see.
We should ask questions to the client. Sometimes they may tell us what has happened. Sometimes they may not give us any clues. So we should ask them what has happened, when it has happened. We should go to the minute details.
We should focus on more on open-ended questions instead of close-ended questions.
So that they will try to explain what has happened. Instead of close-ended questions, if we ask for open-ended question, there is a larger scope for what has happened or detailing of the events which has happened in their life. So we can go inside their stories, we can understand their pain or difficulties they have, and we can solve them very easily.
Yes. Great. Next.
Paraphrasing
Hmm.
would be another skill where we need to paraphrase what the client is saying. For example, if he or she says that I am having anxiety because of my studies. So the counselor needs to say that, okay, so your studies are causing anxiety to you. Such kind of a thing.
All right. Good. So next. I want everyone to talk right now. Should I take names? Yes, Muskan.
Ma'am, like attending skills should be there. The posture of the counselor should be taken into consideration. He should be very attentive in his posture. He should sit straight and stand straight and have a welcoming posture. He should
Yes.
not be like that I'm not interested in listening to you, and that message should not be sent to the client. He should have a relaxed posture and a welcoming smile and have her eye contact with the client.
Yes, great. Remember the solar one. Solar. That's how you can all remember. Anyone else? Vrinda, Ananya, Roshni, Laranya, where are you all today? Can't see you. Quickly put on your videos. Waiting.
पेशेंस रखना,
Yes, yes, yes.
मतलब क्लाइंट हमसे किस तरह से बातें कर रहा है, किस तरह से वो अपने बारे में हमें बताएगा, तो मतलब हमें पेशेंस रखकर वो सब चीजें सुननी पड़ेगी,
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल.
तो पेशेंस की
यस
बात
यस ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट स्किल है एंड ऑफन हम ये पेशेंस हम लूज कर जाते हैं
जी
और हमें लगता है कि क्या बोल रहा है ये बहुत गुस्सा आ जाता है कई बार बट हमें अपना कंट्रोल रखना है अगर हम ही अपना कंट्रोल नहीं रखेंगे तो कैसे होगा सो और किसी को नहीं बोलना मिस चंपा आपको कुछ बताना है कोई भी स्किल आप म्यूट पर हो अनम्यूट एक बार करके बोलो
Okay. So we need to summarize putting all the keywords together. उनका सब बात का keywords डाल के we need to summarize what they want to say and that's all. What they want to say. Yeah. What are their feelings and all.
Yes, yes. Paraphrase their feelings. Yes, yes, that's great. ओके सो बाकी बाद में आंसर करेंगे मैं यही प्रिज्यूम कर रही हूँ नहीं करेंगे तो फिर थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है ऐसे थोड़ी ना होता है वी आर ऑल हियर इन अ क्लास वेर इन वी ऑल हैव टू स्पीक इट्स सच अ क्लोज ग्रुप अगर we'll not speak here then how will we do it okay moving forward then coming to the macro skills so the first one is focusing reflection of meaning interpretation reframing self-disclosure, validate and empathize. So here, focusing. Focusing on individual problems, family, cultural aspects. Reflection of meaning. Encouraging the client to find new ways of examining their lives. In-depth listening for deeper issues and visions of present, past and future. So the first one is to focus on the individual problem. What kind of problem the client has come to you with? Reflection of meaning. Whatever the client has told you to understand the deeper meaning, right? Listening very carefully, active listening, right? It involves active listening, reflecting, the reflecting of meaning, the actual meaning that the child, connecting the past, future, present, whatever the client is telling you. Interpretation, reframing, supplying clients with new perspectives, ideas, and words so that they can use new ways of thinking, feeling, and ultimately behaving differently. So, what kind of interpretation are you coming to? What kind of reframing are you doing? What is the perspective? What are the ideas? What are the new words? New ways of thinking, feeling. Actually, how is the behavior different? So all that comes into this. Self-disclosure. Starring your own related past, present, personal observation. So, like for example, here I am telling you about something about my own experience that I experienced this in the past. That this is so that's a self disclosure by the therapist. He or she is disclosing his own past or personal observation. According to me, I have seen so many clients doing this, So this is self-disclosure. I'm disclosing something about myself. So that is a technique of self-disclosure. So this is a very, very effective technique, let me tell you. It is often used by counselors, but we should often not misuse it or not tell too much personal information about ourselves. But we can definitely use it. Whenever you are giving your example to your client, that this something like this happened with me in the past, and this is how I dealt it. So in this manner, you are connecting with him or her personally. So the client also feels, oh, इसके साथ भी ऐसे हुआ था, इसका मतलब ये तो इसने problem, he could easily solve it. He or she did not have difficulty in solving it at that very moment. So so the client also feels that I will also be able to do it. So they get motivated. Oh, she has also been through that, and they can start relating. So self disclosure is a very effective technique or a skill that you can use. So there is this life skill counseling model, so which has 3 stages. The first one is relating. Stage 1, relating, to form a collaborative working relationship with the client. The second one is understanding. Assess and agree on a shared definition of client's problem. Actually going in depth and understanding what the client's problem looks like. Next one is changing. Achieve client's change and the maintenance of the change. Help the client achieve the change, the positive change, like we were discussing yesterday. We are here to bring about a positive change in the client, right? The change, and how he can actually cope up, and while maintaining, how he can actually use it in daily life. Like yesterday, we were discussing that a child has come with some planning and, organizing difficulties, if you all remember. So he is now able to do it. For his 10th grade, he's able to actually do it. He's able to plan, he's able to organize his studies, but how effectively he can use it in 11th, 12th, and his college and his later on life as well. So it's a kind of how he can actually maintain those changes so that he is not back to the same position where he is struggling again with the time management concerns. How will he do it? So we have to equip the client in that manner. Of course, he or she can come to you after the last session as well. Maybe after some time he feels that no, I really need to go back and work on the same thing. But yes, you have to equip the client. So that is the last stage with the thing. So going in detail, stage 1. I'll go one by one, wherein you will understand in a more better manner. So phase 1, pre-counseling, communicating with and providing information for clients prior to the first session. So this is pre-counseling contact that happens. Before the session, what all communication that happens, what all information is shared. Second phase is starting the initial session, meeting, whenever you are coming, meeting, greeting, seating, making opening remarks, and encouraging clients to tell why they have come. Third phase, facilitating client disclosure, allowing the client space to reveal more about themselves from their own perspective. So this is the third phase. Next one is understanding. So here the phase 1 comes in, reconnaissance, wherein conducting a broad review to identify the client's main problem and to collect information to understand him or her better. So here what happens is when the client presents, that is to understand what exactly the client is going through, and to review and to identify what are the main concerns that the client is facing. Next phase comes in, wherein detecting and deciding. collecting specific evidence to the test ideas about possible poor skills and then reviewing all available information to suggest which skills might require improvement. So here is the phase wherein you see client strengths and weaknesses. Okay, this is what he already has. This is what I really need to work upon. So here the poor skills, this is what it means, the strengths and the weaknesses. The client has come to you with this problem. So first is wherein you are identifying what the problem is. You are trying to collect information. So here most of you are asking questions, interrogating what is happening, what happened, here as much information as you can collect to understand him or her better. Next phase comes in detecting and identifying, and actually seeing evidences that okay, this is his strength, his or her strength, this is his weakness. If I give him this technique, will he be able to do it? So actually analyzing at this point of time, agreeing on a shared analysis of a problem, arriving at a preliminary analysis of the client's problems, including where appropriate specific specifying mind skills, communication, action for improvement, right? So here, so a lot of times you will see that you know that this is your client's weakness or this is your client's strengths, and the client will only not agree to it. Client will be in a totally denial mode that no, this is not my weakness, you are wrong, this is to my strength. Then at this point of time, you have to come to a common area wherein the client also agrees that, okay, this is something that we really need to work upon. So a common background or a common problem or a preliminary analysis is done. Like you both sit together that this is your strength, this is your weakness. I feel that you should work in this manner and we can proceed with the counseling sessions, So this agreement happens here wherein you are actually understanding the problem. Then is changing. So this is the actual, wherein the action comes into play. Intervening, helping clients to develop and मिस चंपा जी आप कुछ कह रही हैं?
Yeah, it's
हाँ
fine
जी.
now.
Okay,
No problem.
all right. So the first phase is intervening, helping clients to develop and implement strategies for managing current problem and improving relevant mind skills and communication action skills for now and later on. All right. So helping clients. So this is the time for action. So this is the stage where actually the action has to be done. Helping the clients develop and implement strategies. Whatever strategies that you've decided in the previous phase, you have to help the client implement and solve and manage that current problem. Ending, assisting clients to both consolidate their skills for use and afterwards and to plan how to maintain them when the counseling ends. As I told you, so you have to equip the client with how to maintain as well. Third phase comes in client self-helping. Clients largely on their own keep using their skills, monitoring their progress. So they are equipped, they have to be equipped with how they can monitor their progress, how they can know that something is going wrong, correcting lapses, and where possible, integrating their improved skills into their daily life. So they actually have to integrate everything. They have to see where they are going wrong. Are they going back? Are they progressing over it, or are they able to maintain? I hope they're not having difficulty. So you have to equip the client with the strategies. You have to be very sure with the strategy you are using with your client, right? So this is the very important stage wherein you are actually implementing the process. What goes through the client's mind? So whenever the client is there with you, what he or she is actually going through. So they are here on an unfamiliar territory, uncertain about how to behave, how, and know they are likely to reveal personal information to you. They don't know you. They've come randomly. Maybe they would have just searched your name or your number from the internet, and they would have just come. Questions running through the client's mind. Can I trust this counselor? How confidential is the session? How much am I prepared to reveal? Will this person like me? So these are the very common questions. Will we be able to match the same wavelength? Can this person help me? Do you think? So they have all sorts of questions running around in their mind. Do you have any questions till now? Any questions till now? No? Are you clear with the skills that we've discussed?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm stopping the share again. So who would want to summarize whatever we've said? All the three stages. So the first stage, who wants to go first? So firstly, I would want those who have not answered to answer first. Muskan, Brinda, Ananya, Roshni, Lalanya, जिनके videos नहीं on. Those who have not put on their videos. Quickly unmute yourself and answer.
Ma'am, but I did answer before.
Yeah, you did. It's okay. You can put on your video and answer this time also.
Okay, sure. Like first stage is related.
Hmm.
In this stage, there are three phases
Hmm.
that consist of pre-counseling, starting the initial session, and
Hmm.
facilitating client disclosure. In
Okay.
this, first we in pre-counseling, first we know the previous information which is given to us about the client. In this case, like we assess those information, and then we try to figure out what can be the problem. And in phase 2, starting the initial session, we like greet the client, make him comfortable, and
Use
prepare
encouragers.
prepare him for the session. In phase 3, facilitating the client disclosure. In this case, we tell him what the session will be like, and all the things, like we will make him sure that the confidentiality will be maintained, and like we will make him relaxed to start the session.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So who wants to go next? Who wants to go next? No one. I feel that I don't think I was clear while explaining. Should I explain it again?
No, not like that. He said those are not explained.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for them to answer. At least put on your videos. If you don't want to answer, that's okay. Just put on your videos for some time, at least. I'll also feel that I'm not talking to, just the screen. It's good to interact. It's such a small group, so we all can be together. And that's how we learn. I've been telling you since yesterday that I'm here to learn from all of you. That's how I learn.
नो मैम, स्टेज तो तीनों याद है।
हाँ, स्टेज तीनों याद है। अच्छा, आप सेकंड वाली मुझे बताओ।
अंडरस्टैंडिंग थर्ड वाली चेंजिंग है।
अंडरस्टैंडिंग में क्या मेन पॉइंट था, क्या उसका एक्सप्लेन, थोड़ा सा मुझे एक्सप्लेन कर दो।
ध्यान नहीं, लेकिन हाँ इतना अंडरस्टैंडिंग में इतना जरूर आएगा शायद
हम्म
कि हम क्लाइंट को किस तरह से समझेंगे।
सो फर्स्ट फेज में मेनली यही है कि हम उसकी मेन प्रॉब्लम को आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे, है ना। और फिर सेकंड फेज में हम उसको आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे, डिटेक्ट करेंगे कि क्या क्या उसके कंसर्न्स थे, क्या उसकी स्ट्रेंथ थी, क्या उसकी वीकनेस थी, जो उसके पुअर स्किल्स हैं उनको आइडेंटिफाई करना। और थर्ड फेज में अंडरस्टैंडिंग में ये मेनली आएगा कि हम उसकी कॉमन बैठ के हम डिस्कस करेंगे कि ये आपके स्ट्रेंथ्स हैं, ये आपकी वीकनेसेस हैं, अब हम आगे क्या करेंगे, तो आप क्या स्ट्रैटेजी अप्लाई करना चाहते हो। तो ये हमारा सेकंड फेज हो गया, मतलब थर्ड फेज हो गया फॉर अंडरस्टैंडिंग। ठीक है, ओके। सो आई थिंक इट्स क्लियर टू मोस्ट ऑफ यू, राइट। थर्ड phase, who is going to explain now? Who wants to go?
Um, changing third stage. First phase is like helping the clients to develop their strategies and to manage their problems and to help them to improve like the same relevant mind skills.
Yes.
And to communicate also with them. So second phase is ending. This is very important, and we need to assist the clients how to maintain and to plan how to maintain and to use afterwards after our counseling how to maintain like that. And then the third phase is client self-helping, right?
Self-helping.
So keeping their skills, monitoring the progress, and then the possible ways interacting with them to improve their daily activities and to be happy and to create a harmony in their life, like.
Yes.
So these are all the important stages. Like stage 3 is very important.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so I'm giving you a case before we move ahead. Like this is just an example. Maybe we could or discuss it together.
Oh.
So George, 52 years, okay, has been unemployed for 6 months after being fired from his position of managing director of a communication company. He was obsessed with getting back into the workforce and has become extremely depressed at his lack of success. He had discussed his depression with his doctor, who put him on an antidepressant that he felt terrible about taking. As part of his termination package, George was given the opportunity to use a well-respected outplacement company for senior executives. Here, a consultant has been assisting George with his job search program and providing support and encouragement. The outplacement company hired me on a seasonal basis to work with the clients whose job search problems went beyond the ordinary. George consultant notified him that he was a counseling psychologist on the staff and this and that, whom he could see as part of the company's service. George, who was actually thought that he badly needed to see someone, might help lift his incapacitating depression. While he felt some anxiety about seeing a counseling psychologist, he was prepared to give it a go and reserve judgment. So here, looking at the life skill counseling model, the 3 stages. So what do you think is George, how do we categorize into the 3 stages? What is his main concern? The first stage, then the second. What is the second?
Low
Understanding.
Low
Hmm.
self-confidence,
Yes. And
low
Change.
self-esteem.
low self-esteem, low self-confidence. What else? What was the reason behind it? What was the first reason that I told you guys? That he
He
had been he had
Fired by the
yes, he had
senior
been
officer,
unemployed. Yes,
unemployment, and
yes, for
searching for the job for 6 months.
such a long time,
Long
for
time.
6 months, he had gone through. So I'm sure he must have, went from one company to the other in search of job. So he felt terrible. We can just empathize at this point of time. We can just take out those feelings that yes, we're empathizing with the client. He's 52 years. So I'm sure considering the age is also a number that we need to consider. Around 52 years, what is the, if you consider that, he must be, in his 50s, so must be having children, a family to support, being unemployed for such a long time. So I'm sure there's a lot of pressure, and nobody agrees for, taking antidepressants very easily. Hmm? So now he's actually ready. His company is also supporting him, and all of that. So he's ready to go for counseling. So this is also, a very big push that the client is, actually ready. So just to make him ready, that is also a very big thing. So if the client is coming to you, just think from that perspective that he must have gone through a lot that he's coming to you. He would have gone from one door to the other. Everyone just tries to, especially in India, everyone just tries to avoid. And it's a stigma. I know it is just uh, established. There's much more awareness now than before. But yes, still there is a lot of hesitation from client side. They actually, when they come and tell us, no, that, you know, it's been 2 or 3 years I've been thinking that I need help, but now I've taken up the guts to, actually come to you and tell you that this is my concern, and, that this is what I've been suffering since years, but now I've taken up the courage to come to you. So here also, how do we identify his problem? So by using these three models, you guys were very quick in actually identifying and what all he was going through, considering the age factor. That's what I told you. So always think, whenever you get a case like this, always think from that perspective also, that yes, age is also a factor. Must have been an added version. Had he been in his 20s, he won't have, he would have been like, I could have easily pursued another course and just chilled for
Yes.
that time. But yes, being considering the age, it's very essential for him to have a job to support his family. What if his wife is also not earning? His household is suffering. So all those factors. So how will you get to know about all these things? If you see the case, just for example, if a client has come to you and if you see the case, so if you will ask more questions, more open-ended questions, that's
Yeah.
how you will know about the client as well. Otherwise, we'll just presume that okay, this could be the case, this could be the case, this could be, but as and when the client is coming to you, the initial words, the initial information he or she is giving, you have to be very proactive and you have to be very quick in analyzing. Oh, this is something, maybe I could ask this, maybe I could ask this. You have to plan in your head that after this I can ask, and of course it goes one after the other. It is in a form of communication, conversation only, but you have to be very smart while asking questions, right? So I just wanted to you all to just, this was a very simple case study that was there, and I thought and which was relevant to the counseling model that we just discussed, so we could actually apply it, how the cases would come. So we have to think from all perspective. That's why all the skills that we have seen are very, very important. Summarizing, paraphrasing, reflecting, everything is very important whenever you are, taking a session. Being empathetic. We could actually feel that for 6 months. When I read this case, I was like, for 6 long months. Maybe if had it been for 1 or 2 months, you usually take for changing your job. 6 whole months for a 52-year-old. I'm sure he must have been under tremendous pressure from his family. You get to hear so many things. There's a lot of social isolation as well. So, and you get out of touch of your skills. So, all these things you actually have to brainstorm that, okay, this he could have gone through. And then you have to ask. You cannot ask directly to the client, you have to indirectly. So, it's all about the communication part that you are doing in a polished manner so that the client is also not feeling bad, but you are giving in your points at that very moment. All right.
Adding
So,
to you, they'll
yes,
be in a retiring mode. Since
yes,
he is in 52 years old, he
yes,
should be planning for the retiring mode. So,
yes. Yes, absolutely. And just 8 years to go, like around approximately 8 years. So all those factors have to be
will
considered. The
affect.
retirement factors, yes, absolutely. So, as in when one grows, the rigidity factors also come into play. The acceptance, the last stage which comes in wherein you are making your client aligned with the goals that you have made, the strategies that you plan to use. Maybe you would have thought that, oh, I could use this with him. The client will completely deny. Like, no, we can't use it. I can't do this. Then you have to be very quick with the plan A and plan B. Okay, now I have to shift. What if he will not do? Either you convince the client or you change, modify, diplomatically just say that, okay, maybe we could do this, maybe give options, maybe we could try it for some time. You have to be very quick in that manner. I'm just giving you a brief. All this we will cover later on as well. But yes, of course, I think it becomes very interesting when we do more case studies, when we do actually the practical part of it, not just the theoretical bit. It gets boring. I feel very bored if someone teaches me just from the theoretical perspective. Okay, so how do we initiate the session? Starting the initial session. Counselors need to develop good skills for meeting, greeting, seating clients. They should provide warm and friendly welcome. When both the parties are seated, counselors may make an opening statement that indicates the time boundaries of the session. Say something like, we have about 45 minutes together, or we have about an hour together. Then giving the client permission to talk. Yes, you can express yourself freely. Can you tell me more about it? How initially you start the session? That is how your entire session will go like. The way you start, the way you meet, the way you greet. Like as I told you, if he has entered and you're just fidgeting with your things, you're taking out papers, oh my god, my laptop battery is dead, I cannot show them. Maybe if you planned that, okay, this session I'll show them a short video clip and then I'll ask talk more about it. Like for example, you plan to show them something and your things are not ready, your video is not ready, your laptop's battery is dead, or you tell them, oh, you just wait for 10 minutes. They waited already outside, it's their time for the session. In those 45 minutes also, out of those 45 minutes you tell them to wait for 10 minutes, then the client's interest will not be there. The way you start, if you give them full attention by good greetings, maybe as simple as something maybe from the last session, whenever they've come to you from the last session, you can recall, oh, they shared something personal with you, maybe something like, my son is not well. So that's something personal that they shared. Maybe when next time they come to you, you ask him, how is he doing, is he fine now? These are some things that make you feel connected with your client, and the client also feels that, okay, yes, I'm also getting importance, and they'll also come in, interact, and they'll also feel, and then maybe they start up their story from there only. that yes, I had not been feeling, I could not do my homework that you could do, you gave it to me, all of that. Otherwise, you have to find a common point while interacting with your client, right? So it's very important the way you start your session. That's why I'm giving more emphasis on this. Your body language, your use of hands, your use of shoulders, your postures, if you're in like this, or you are yawning, and you do these things. So I don't think your client will feel that you're interested in the session. He might feel that, oh my God, why am I here? I'm feeling already very negative and drained out while coming for the session, right? So counselors should try to create an emotional climate of warmth, respect, and interest in which clients can feel safe in sharing their inner worlds and wounds. They use active listening skills to help clients feel their thoughts, their feelings are being received and understood sensitively and accurately. Whatever the client is trying to say, you're actually actively listening, and there is an emotional connect that you are building with your client. I am not telling you to actually cry in front of your client. I'm not telling you to do that. Don't do that. Okay, but yes, it's okay to empathize. I know it becomes very overwhelming at sometimes. Some cases are very intense and you actually feel like crying. Maybe you can control it at that very moment and then maybe do that later on, but not in front of the client. You can definitely use connectors, encouragers, or maybe divert them to some other topic, or maybe sometimes you are the best judge at that point of time. I'm just giving you hints. I'm not saying that you can do this. There's no hard and fast rule that you have to follow. So maybe you could, at that very moment, you could bring some humor, not directly targeting to the client. Of course, at that very moment, when in an emotional situation, you bring some humor, that will not work. Maybe later on, after that, after the client has vented out their emotions with you, maybe later on, you can, as we discussed, bringing the situation to a lighter mode. You can do that just to help them come out of that situation a bit, but don't do that at that very moment. All right, counselors should be prepared to answer questions asked by the client. So you should be prepared. Whatever the plan you've prepared, you have to be very sure that okay, this is what is it. The client can ask you any question and they can even question you, will this work? But you can also always try if it works or not. There's no 100% guarantee in counseling that yes, this will definitely work. Whatever I'm going to do will work. There's no 100% guarantee. But yes, with the researchers, you also use those kinds of techniques that we all can use together and then do it. But there's no 100% rule that yes, मैंने पढ़ाई तो करी थी, I studied for my exam, so I will get 100% marks. There's no guarantee in that, right? So you have to be prepared for all the questions and for all the answers that the client is asking. So coming to this part, starting of this was the last topic, and then I will take up questions if you guys have any. So it's very, very important for you to how do you start your session. That is the most important thing. So please be very, very careful whenever you are starting your sessions. All right, and you should also be presentable. Whenever you should be welcoming. The client should feel that yes, he should feel very important. That's your responsibility. Your client is your responsibility. Remember that. All right. Do you have any questions? Any questions for today? Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes. No questions?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
We have already said we cannot say 100% guarantee to counseling, but if we need to provide a very good positive thought for the client to believe the first session, because we need to start on. And if he's very much negative minded, we should make him positive so that we can have a journey of counseling. So at that point, we will say that, yes, sir, it will work. You may believe me, it will surely work. If we say like that, it's right to say or it is wrong to say like that, because
No. So in this case, we have to we will not say that it will surely work. We will what we can do is we can work together towards it, towards our goal. That's how we can say. So we have to work together. So in any counseling session or in anything, it's not just a one-way process. It's both. It's the client and the counselor, both who are responsible. What if the counselor is trying his best to give the inputs and the client is only not implementing those skills? You are teaching in the counseling session, okay, this you can do at this point of situation, this is how you feel. You are making him feel relaxed, practicing a lot of things together. But what if the client is not implementing at that point of the situation? Then what will you do? So it's a two-way process. You have to be involved. So both have to work together. So you can always say that we both can work together and move towards the goal and bringing about a positive change. That's what you can say. Rather than reassuring that yes, it will definitely work, you can definitely use examples. As I told you, self-disclosure technique you can use, right? But do not give 100% assurance. What if you feel that this strategy is not working, I thought that it might work, but maybe you want to modify it a bit, and then you are in the process of modifying, and then the therapist or the client can definitely question you said that this will work 100%, then what will you do? So at times, let's be realistic. I'm not telling you the bookish language. I'm just telling you the practical thing that I have experienced in my sessions. That I always say that we are going to work together towards our goal. We are going to bring about a change together. So it's both of us who are involved, not just the counselor, not just the client. But you are guiding. You are not giving advice to the client, right? Remember, we discussed it yesterday. We are not giving advice to the client. It's not a friendly advice, but we are guiding our clients to work towards better and bringing about a positive change in them. So that's what we are doing as counselors.
Yeah, here I do a self-discover. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. The doubt is that we have already explained about 3 phases of our counseling. So in between, you told us that we have reached a conclusion that this is some area that makes our client worry or that makes him trouble. So if may say tell him that, sir, this is the thing that is making you. Sometimes he may rebut, no, that is not making me a problem, that is not a problem for me, that is not a weakness for me. At that point of time, what will we say? Because we are not accepting his feelings. He may feel insecure because I don't have such a weakness, but still the counselor is saying that I have that weakness. So he may feel insecure. So what will we do at that point of time?
So using the other techniques such as summarizing, paraphrasing. So whatever the client has said, you've come up to that conclusion by whatever the client has given you the information about, right? So you could refer back to the examples. I was just thinking about this example or the incident that you told me about, that this is what has happened, and I felt that maybe at this point of time you were insecure in that situation. So this made me come to the point that, actually, this is why I was thinking maybe we could work more towards it. Maybe we could have handled in a different way, and things could have been different. So, the paraphrasing, the summarizing, all of this comes into play here, wherein you are using the skills by telling the client about what he referred to. He would have told you some incident or some story wherein you would have come to a conclusion that I think he is more insecure about his situations rather than anything else. So maybe you could refer that back to the client. I was just thinking, do not argue, But yes, put in your point that this is why I was thinking that, I felt that maybe this situation, if it would have handled in a different manner, things would have been different. So, I'm just giving you a hypothetical answer because, yes, while we discuss the case studies, we'll be able to do it better. But, I hope you are getting the idea of it. The more forward we move, the better clarity you will have. So, I think I was able to answer your query, right?
I am in a cloud of confusion, but as you say, the confusion will be cleared when we deal with more cases, because
Yes.
always.
So what, in very simple words, what I would want to tell you is, so the incident, for example, an incident that the client would have told you, which is why you would have thought, no, that okay, this is something, this may be his weakness, because he reacted in a different way at that point of time. Like, for example, insecurity that you mentioned, right? So we can refer back to the client that yes, because I feel that, at this situation, you handled it this way, which made you very insecure at that point of time. I think if we can work upon that part, and whenever you give incident to the client also understand, yes, 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 I felt it that way, and then the client comes to the same page. Of course, it's there within them, but they do not want to, it's not there on the surface. So a lot of times this kind of situation happens. It's not there on the surface. So then they relate, oh yes, this has happened. And then they agree. And if not, if you feel that, maybe you are also not able to find, and then probably you could, quarterly match up with the common ground goal. Maybe we could take up this later. Then you could prioritize. Maybe not in this month. Maybe next month I could take up this kind of a goal, right? So if the client only does not want to be worked upon on this particular aspect, then we can't do anything. We have to agree with what the client, otherwise he will not come to you. He will not come to you. He'll be like, we are not aligned. I don't know. He thinks that I cannot handle this, but I'm very good at it. He will not come to you. So you have to have a common ground, and the client not come to you also. Rather, I would say the client will not be motivated enough to work towards it if he will not be convinced. That's what I mean. So he should have the motivation to bring about a change. It comes from within as well. It's not just from the counselor's aspect. That's why I'm telling you, it's both ways, not just the counselor, not just the client, right? Yes, ma'am. Miss Maheshwari, you were mentioning something.
With his first doubt, I was disclosing my own personal experience.
Yes.
I'm a prenatal educator, so I work with pregnant ladies. All of a sudden, at their 7th month of their pregnancy, they'll come and ask whether if we do a class with you, shall we get normal delivery? So that time I used to say we have to work together.
Yes.
And we have to achieve our goal.
Yes.
In a polished way.
Yes.
But before I'm getting the experience, I'm doing this for past 16 years. But before that and all, what I say directly to them, no, this should be prepared before pregnancy itself, not during pregnancy. You should not ask me this question like that. But after I'm getting few experience,
Yes.
I'll be moving in polished way, and we used to work together. We need to work together.
Absolutely.
I'm just like saying in a mild
Absolutely.
way.
Absolutely.
So I
We have
lost many of the clients because of that sharpened words.
Yes, that's true. Your words speak a lot about, what kind of clients will stay with you, what kind of clients will not stay with you. And actually, that matters. And, it's not just about being polished. I'm not telling you to have a fake polished way of saying. But yes, there is a way of saying and there is a way of conveying. what I feel that, what my clients will stay is because I am talking to them nicely. And why not? They've come to me with the expectation that I'm
So
a
what
psychologist.
here will happen, like they'll be having only 4 weeks for delivery and 5
Yeah.
weeks for delivery, and
Yes,
they want to do exercises. You just teach me only exercise for normal delivery, like that.
yeah, I
So
completely understand. In that situation, it's very difficult, and of course, you cannot dishearten them also because yes, they have
nowadays
a
I'm
life
smoothening and
inside.
let's join together to
Yes,
work for better experience, and you just
absolutely.
enjoy the delivery. It's not sure that you need to do only normal delivery,
Yes.
so you can go for C-section.
It's very
Now
important. Yes, that is very important for them to know clearly. It's not just like you very clearly mentioned. It's not important just for a normal delivery. You can also go for a C-section delivery. That's also okay now. So it's not just that normal delivery is very. So that's very important that you explained. So as a counselor, you also have to explain it to your clients. Why are you suggesting this? So you have to be clear yourself first, then only you will be able to explain it to the others, right? So that's very necessary. Any other doubt or any other question that you have? So you all will be able to do the assignment that will be given tomorrow. I think it's all clear. Yeah?
yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah? And we're good to go? Is it? Tired?
interesting.
Is it? Thank you. That's great. If you find it interesting, even I enjoyed the session and it was good interacting. That's why I want everyone to, put on their videos. It's good to interact, talk. That's how we learn from our experiences. Like you shared about your profession. So that's how I'll also learn. And we all will learn, right? So from next week, please make arrangements for putting on your videos. That's a request. That's a humble request. All right? And be more interactive. And complete your assignment this week, which will be given tomorrow. All right. Have a good week ahead and see you next week. Bye bye. Take care.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye bye. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.